Okay, welcome to the second lesson, the natural minor scale. Hope you're all still pumped from your major scale activities, your major scale frivolities, the fun that is to be had with the tone, semitone, tone, semitone structure. Where would we be without it? Question I asked to you. Alright, let's have a look here. Remember, scales are just a collection of notes. Should have written this down last time. And scales are differentiated by the number of notes and the distances between them, or intervals. We can have a major scale, we can have a minor scale. Hell, we can even have a harmonic minor scale, if we're that crazy. Alright, I remember last time we had a few things we had to get out of the way. We wanted to know what a semitone was. Remember, the semitone is the smallest interval in the Western scale. It is from an F to F sharp, or an F sharp to a G, and it also sounds like the Jaws theme. Freaky. Alright. Now a tone is the other thing we need to know about, is two semitones. So instead of going from F to F sharp, we go from F to G. It's also called a it's also called a whole tone rather than a whole tone, and it's also called a major second. They're all the same thing. A tone equals two semitones, or a whole tone, or a major second. Okay, so here we've got our natural minor scale. Now it is a natural minor scale, believe me. I'm a teacher, I know these things. And it's written from A all the way up to A here. Okay. Alright, now we also want to have our chromatic scale, which is again from A all the way through to G sharp. All 12 tones in the Western scale. Remember, there's no B sharp, there's no E sharp, but be cool about that, you know? Be cool, B-E. No B sharp, no E sharp. I know it's dorky, but you'll get used to it. Alright, here we are. Here's A on our keyboard. And this will give everyone a little bit of a reference point. Let's give all the notes in the scale a number from 1 through to 8. This is going to be very useful when you get older, kids. Let me tell you. Remember old A? He was number 1. He was number 1 in the A minor scale. Remember B? He was number 2. Tried to fight for number 1, but didn't quite make it. At least he was happy with 2. C? She was number 3. She was quite content with 3. Let's move on. Let's not tell the backstory. Okay, so what we're going to do today, again, like we did for the major scale, is go through and find the intervallic structure. That's right, the intervallic structure. The intervals, the intervallic structure of the natural minor scale. So you can see up here we've got from A to B, and that's a tone. A sharp, B, a tone. Let's go from B to C. Let's see what that is. B to C, we're expecting it to be a semitone. From C all the way up to D, that is, let's have a look down here, C sharp, D, that's a tone. From D up to E, that's another tone. From E to F, that's another tone. E to F, that's a semitone. Ding, ding. And then from F to G, we've got a tone. And then from G to A, we've got another tone. So the structure here we've got is tone, semitone. Tone, semitone, tone. It's a little bit different to the major scale, isn't it? But if you remember these separately, you'll go a long way, my friend. You will go a long way. Okay, another little handy piece of advice I'm going to tell you. Don't tell anyone I told you this, but it is actual fact. The natural minor scale is also called the relative minor scale. Now, why do you think that is? It's related to something. There's a little bit of a hint. Relative minor, related to something. Ching, ching. Alright, so here we go. Here's our old trusty friend, the major scale. Remember we did that in the last lesson from C all the way up to C? They were good times, weren't they? I still fondly remember them. And trust me, it is a major scale. It's C all the way up to C. It's all the white notes, no sharps, no flats. Now, our A minor scale, our A natural minor scale, is related to that C major scale. They're like brothers and sisters. They might be like father and son. I'm not really sure exactly, but you can make up your own relations. So we've got here from A all the way up to A. And you'll notice that it's the exact same notes, but just starting from A. Okay? So A, B, C. C goes to D. Here again, C went to D. D went to E. And we expect, whoa, D goes to E. So it's the exact same. They're related. They got the same DNA. So you can also see that the minor scale, if you go up 3 semitones from A, you would arrive at C. A sharp, B, C. 3 semitones. Okay? Remember that. 3 semitones away. Alright. I'm popping out these little numbers here for you. You can make sense of them. So here's our tonic of the minor scale. Here's our tonic of the major scale. You can see here I've done it out for you little guitar heads. Happy days. Okay, so let's have a look at how to complete a natural minor scale. Method 1, now remember this is only one method to do this, and we'll learn another method later, but this is the basic grounding. Alright, here we go, just like the major scale, we want to write out the chromatic scale. He was our old friend back from lesson 1. Ah, the good times. I'll never forget that chromatic scale. Remember when he had an A sharp after an A? That was classic. I love that shit. Alright. So, step 2, pick a root note. Then I want you to write out 7 notes until you reach the octave. Remember, you'll have 8 notes in total. Now, you've got to use that formula of tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Okay, it's different to the major scale. And we use that to make sure that we've got the correct accidentals. Then make sure, again, that you use any letter only once before the octave. So you can't have a G sharp and a G, or a G sharp and a G flat. Step 1, here we go. Write out the chromatic scale. Cha-ching, we got it. Write your starting note. Ba-ba. There it is. We've got a D. Then we want to write out all the notes for one octave. So we've done that. Gone D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Now this is not the last step. What we need to do is we need to check to make sure that we've got the right intervals in between here. Okay? So step 3, check the semitones against the formula. What's the formula? That's right. It's tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. So let's check it out. What do we got? Here's our chromatic scale. Remember, there he is. Old A sharp after A. What a hoot. So let's check it out. We've got D to E. We're expecting a tone. D, D sharp, E, that's a tone. Ba-ba-ba-booyah. All right, from E to F, we're expecting a semitone. And it just so happens that it is a semitone. E, F, semitone. Sha, 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 sha. All right, from F to G, we're expecting another tone. As we can see over here, we're up to tone. And we get a tone from F, F sharp, G. All right, from G to A, we're expecting another tone. And that's what we've got, in fact. G, G sharp, A. Excellent. All right, from A to B, tell me what that is. Is that a tone or a semitone? Check it out, you do it. Go find A. There it is up there. A to B. What is that? Is that a tone or a semitone? Come on, say it out loud. Louder, I can't hear you. That's right. It is a tone. But what are we expecting? We're expecting a semitone. We're up to this part of the intervallic structure. So it's a tone, but we want a semitone. So what do we need to do to this B to make it a semitone. We need to drag it down or flatten it. So we need to flatten it, sha 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 sha, and that will then make this a semitone. So we've now got A to B flat. So remember our enharmonic equivalents. A sharp is the same as B flat. It sounds the same. Okay, enharmonically it sounds the same. And we need to make sure we've got A, B, C, D in this natural minor scale. Okay, so now that we've got our B flat, let's check in between B flat to C. That should be a tone. So B flat, or enharmonically it's A sharp. We go 1, 2. Shazam, a tone. And the next one, from C to D, we want it to be a tone. C, C sharp, D. Happy days it is. All right. So let's do a little bit of revision about the natural minor scale. It's our new friend. It is related to a major scale. They're good. They could be brothers. They could be sisters. Maybe they're long-lost cousins. But I wouldn't think they'd be long-lost cousins because they hang out quite regularly. It is also called the relative minor. It's underage, apparently. Perhaps why it's called the minor. It's 3 semitones down from the relative major. Or it's the 6th note of the relative major.
It is tone, semitone, tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone.
Remember that, kids, and you'll go far. Cha-ching.